Hi guys, it's Charlotte and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, we are going to be talking all about blending the technical and the creative or more intuitive side of Squarespace SEO. And you might be thinking like, wait, Charlotte, what do you mean creative or intuitive side of SEO? Isn't it just about like fixing up settings on the back end of your website or creating long form keyword rich content? And the answer to that is yes, that is a huge part of Squarespace SEO. But in my experience, I'm a Squarespace SEO expert. I work with hundreds of clients and like thousands of students and stuff in my, whether it's my group programs or my online course or in the free challenges that I run. And I know for a fact that the people that get the best results on their website, those that are able to grow the most, increase their traffic, get in front of the right or their ideal audience online, all of those people that get the amazing results with Squarespace SEO are the ones that approach it with a certain mindset, and they come at their SEO efforts with a particular energy. And I know that sounds a little bit crazy, but hear me out on this. We're going to be talking about how you can blend the technical and that creative intuitive side if you want the best results, which if you're watching this video and you're here on my channel or watching my blog posts and stuff, I know you do too. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. And let's kind of dive into that a little bit first. So when I say you hear these buzzwords thrown around all the time, like creativity, like energy, effort, co-creation, whatever. You might be like, no, Charlotte, that is way more applicable to like manifestation or something. But the thing is that like the energy with which you do something is going to have a direct input or a direct result on the output that happens and the results that you get. So when we're doing our Squarespace SEO efforts, if you're coming at it from an energy of, oh my God, how cool, this is really fun, I'm learning, I'm developing my skill set, I'm gaining confidence in what I'm able to do with my website, and oh my gosh, I'm so excited to reach even more of these like dream clients or incredible customers and stuff, then that is going to have a direct result on how you're able to grow and how well your SEO efforts work. Whereas if you come at it being like, oh, I don't know if I'm doing this right, this is tough, I have resistance to it, I doubt myself and my skills, and I don't really know if people should be seeing my website, let alone, I don't know if my services are of value or my products are actually worth the money that I'm charging, then you can do all of the Squarespace SEO efforts, but you're not going to get the results. Like, do you know what I mean? Not to get too like Esther Hicks on you or anything like that, but roll with me, okay? I'm going to give you some real examples here. So when we're talking about the technical side of SEO, because that's what people think about most of all. They're like, technical side of SEO, amazing. What does that mean? Well, let's go through a few examples here. First of all, it would be things like the main settings on the back end of your Squarespace website. So if you don't know what I mean about that, take a look at the video that I've linked to up above. It's like Squarespace SEO 101, like the basic settings you have to fill out. So just to really quickly go over that, it would be things like connecting and verifying your site to Google Search Console, filling out the SEO site description, or filling out the SEO description fields for the different pages and blog posts and product descriptions that you have. It could also be like filling out a Google My Business profile, which I think I have a video to link to that one up above as well. And so that's the first one, is like the main settings that you have on your website. Another thing that you might want to look at is like the on-site SEO factors, right? So you know that all pages are not created equal. Google is going to prioritize a page that has things like a proper header, uses keywords, uses it had titles, but then it also uses headers in a hierarchy. So H1, H2, H3. Are you using links, whether it's an internal link, an external link? What's the URL slug? Like all of those things. And if you want a refresher on-site SEO factors, please take a look at the video that I'm linking to up above, because it's very helpful for those foundations. So that's another one of the more like technical aspects of it. Another thing you might want to look at is like all of those amazing images on your website, whether it's like custom photography or like a stock photo or something that you're using. How are you naming these images? Are they formatted correctly? What's the aspect ratio? Are they compressed so that they're a small image file that's not like slowing down the page load speed, all of those things, right? So the like technical elements of using all of these beautiful images across your website. Another thing that you might want to think about too with the technical side, like the more like strategic effort-based one, is also about like the long form keyword rich content. So maybe you've done your keyword research, you know the keywords that you're trying to target, the things that you want your ideal audience to be typing into Google, and you're creating content around it, right? Like that's strategy that involves a certain level of like analysis and all of those sorts of things. And then the last one that I wanted to give an example of would be something like user experience. So making sure that, you know, you have responsive design set up on your website. And if you have a Squarespace website, that's probably fine, but you've double checked the formatting. You're also thinking about things like the navigation or how easy is it for people to access different parts of content around your site, right? Makes sense, totally. You know, like different things like that. The user experience, is it easy for someone to like scan and read the content of these long form content, right? Like how have you structured the page content? All of those things. Okay, so that's much more of what we think of when it comes to SEO and the things that are going to set you up for success. But now I want to challenge you to also think about the creative or the intuitive aspect of Squarespace SEO. And before you're like, no, like you probably are even doing some of this subconsciously, whether you realize it or not, okay? So part of it is going to be putting yourself in your ideal audience's shoes so that you understand like what are they looking for online? How can you create your website and position your content, create content, all of that sort of thing so that it meets their needs. And if you haven't already, I'm going to link to a video that talks about satisfying search intent. And I really want you to take a look at that video so that you understand a bit more of what we're talking about here. I can't understate enough how important it is. But you also want to be thinking about stuff like, you know, are you creating the right kind of long form content that engages your audience? So not just, you know, being like, yeah, I hit it with all the keywords and the technical aspects and stuff, but are you writing both from the heart, but also, you know, from like the strategy, those things too. Or playing around with creativity could also be really relevant with backlinks. You know, this is a big thing people talk about. They're like, oh, backlinks, like, oh, I love doing this because I get to, you know, you get to be really creative and use your, you know, like think outside of the box a little bit more to come up with other websites that you then pitch to get those backlinks or inbound links. So, you know, there's different things that way. Let me take a look at my notes here as well. Yeah, search intent, backlinks, long form content, the user experience too. Again, just, you know, putting yourself in your ideal audience's mind and being like, how can I format my content? How can I design everything, the pages, the product descriptions, the navigation, the menus, whatever, in a way that really like helps Google, the search engine that is crawling and indexing the content of your site, but also helps the human, like the real live person who is behind the screen viewing your content. So really, if you keep these two aspects in mind when you're going about your Squarespace SEO efforts, you're going to see so much more success. Again, I repeat it, I see it time and time again with my consulting clients, with students in my programs, whether it's like my group program, my online course, whether it's people that are taking like any of my free challenges to kind of set themselves up. Blending the technical side, but also the creative and intuitive side is really going to lead you to that success. And one thing I really want to point out as well before we bounce on this is that if you notice that you're like, okay, like I'm going about Squarespace SEO because I'm great at following an action plan. And once I have strategy, incredible, blah, blah, blah. You know, great. You're already maybe like pretty strong on the technical side. Or if you're like, hey, I'm a little bit more like of a thinker anyways, and I like to think outside of the box or something. Well, that's amazing. You can play that to your strengths and then like look online and find all of these resources that help you fill in the gaps with that technical knowledge. So this is what I love about Squarespace SEO is that it really works for like such a wide variety of people, and you can get incredible results whether you self-identify with the more like technical, analytic, strategic side versus the more intuitive, energetic, creative side of it. So, before you go, I wanted to let you know that if you're interested in Squarespace SEO, I have a checklist that you can download. I have a comically large printout of it because I want to show it with you here. But that Squarespace SEO checklist, I've linked to it down below. Or if you're watching, so if you're watching the video on YouTube, just click the link down below in the description for the SEO checklist. And if you're reading the blog post, well, then it's here in the blog post. You can download it. And this Squarespace SEO checklist has been downloaded by literally thousands of people. So I know that you're going to find it really, really helpful, whether you're just starting out on Squarespace SEO or you've been at this a little while and want to make sure that you're on the right track and doing things properly and in the correct order and all of that. I also have so many additional like blog posts, video tutorials, resources, all that. You can check that out here on my channel or over on my website. So if you're interested in Squarespace SEO or growing your website, online business, all of those sorts of things, I know you're going to find huge value with the content that I have here. And if you like this video, you can like it, like give it a thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe buttons to make sure that you don't miss any of the other content that I have. And leave me a comment down below to let me know that you found this helpful or useful, or that it, just resonated with you in some ways. So take a look at the rest of the content on my channel too if you want something that's maybe a bit more like technical, applied, action-oriented or something, but also the videos that I mentioned here in this video will really set you up on a solid foundation. So be sure to check those ones out. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you again soon in another video. Bye, guys.